Hey guys, so here are my 1959 Series 2 early. I think some Series 1s may have had these towards the end of the production line, but these are the turning signal switches that are vacuum operated. By vacuum I mean they're like basically a diaphragm in here, like a leather sort of seal that's piston that goes in and out. This little switch here, the tighter you go in, the longer it takes for the air to escape, and therefore the longer you have your turning signal. Sorry, this is my camera shaking. I bumped it up. Anyways, so the more you turn this in, the longer you have that the lights blink for. So as you loosen it up, obviously it's a quicker sort of sequence. So I'm going to show you on this one a little bit. So you turn it and you see how it has sort of come back. That's pretty quick, right? So it's been a while since I touched this one. This is a spare one. I have several of these spare units. So this one here, watch, I'm gonna do it now. This one's failing because it still does the same amount of time. So I'm gonna show you guys. I went all the way in and there's no difference in the relay, right? So this is still good. You can rebuild these or clean them up. So first of all, like, you remove be careful with these are Bakelite. Don't put any chemicals in them. You might put a little bit of grease, but that's it. But obviously this is your turning signal. Take that out first. Remove and I've already cleaned this one. I've gone through this one already. I reassembled it to show kind of how it all put together. So this one I'm just gonna disassemble it, grease it up, and then put it back together. I just wanted to show you guys how to take it apart while it's not all greasy yet. So take the screws out. So this is the first layer of the onion. It's just the cover basically for now. Put that aside, and then here are your switches. They're points basically. It's actually not supposed to be that way. There we go. So you can see now that they're separated. This one needs a little bit of adjustment, but anyhow, turn to the right and you get that. Turn to the left, you get that. So you make the point you choose, and right here is right, left. So this is really easy to wire, and this is the actual power here. So anyways, so the first thing is to remove that cover. I already cleaned these up. Took a little sandpaper just to clean them up right here. Here, clean the points up, but everything's good. Then you gotta be careful with the next stage. It's spring loaded, so there's actually a pretty big spring inside. And you'll see what I mean right now. So you wanna make sure you back it all out. And be careful taking these out. There's the nuts that hold these screws onto the cover. There we go. So here's the cam. Here's the cam that turns right or left, right? These are the screws that hold it all in. These screws thread to the terminals, so that the wire gets hooked up to these. Power travels through these bolts, or through these screws, and onto your points. Okay, so there's that. And then here is the piece that loses. There's this leather, it looks like leather, I think it's leather. There's this leather like sleeve that needs to be lubricated. I don't put any brake fluid or any cleaner on this because it's leather. I don't know, it might deteriorate it, so leave it alone. So here's the little hole that lets it breathe, go in and out. Otherwise it will just be under vacuum and it will never work. And there's that screw hole right there. As you loosen it up, you get more air going in and out of it, therefore creating a delay on the return of that spring of that this little cam here. So I cleaned it up already. There was some grease in there. I'll put some grease again. I'm gonna use this red and tacky grease from Lucas. I really like it because it's obviously tacky, and that's we're trying to create a vacuum. So I'm gonna go with that. I don't know what it'll do to the leather, but we'll find out. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of grease and grease up the spring itself. I don't know that you need that much here, but I'm just gonna butter it up a little bit on the edge, maybe so it doesn't squeak or something. But so just a little bit. Then I'll put this back in, and this is the one that's crucial. This one it sits inside this little cylinder, therefore making the seal. So this has to slide in there. So I'm gonna put a little bit of grease here on these cam, or these sort of what should I call these, little gateways, keyways. So I'll put a little grease there, a little bit of grease there, not too much, just enough to keep that grease. I'll add it here as well. And you gotta excuse me if like this is the first time using a tripod as I do a video, so I'm not looking at the video, I'm looking at the actual part. So if I'm out of frame, it's because I'm still a newbie at this. So here it is. I'm gonna butter this one up all around. Maybe now that I think about it, maybe I should butter up the walls of the other assembly as well. Oops. So I will butter this one up too, because obviously this is the area that's crucial. And we got this here. It goes in there. Oops, forgot the most important piece, the spring. I didn't feel much of a vacuum, so I'm gonna put a little bit more. I mean, it shouldn't make a difference. That probably means this thing is already worn out, so I'm assuming this will probably need to be a repair kit. Will have to be like a leather piece. I'm afraid to go into this because this is big. Like, how old is it? You know, very old, very brittle probably. Luckily this sits in the dashboard, so it probably doesn't get that much sun exposure. You can see this one has some exposure to the sun right there. Anyways, Big Lake can be very temperamental. It could either just be really solid and good, and it could just break out of nowhere. Anyhow, so now that we have this, we need to grease up the little cam here. One here, one there, and then a little bit on this one here. That little cam rides on this V right here. This is the one that pushes that cylinder down as you turn the switches. By the way, those are the little nuts. They haven't fallen off. but they're not held by anything other than gravity and years of maybe grime or something. But anyhow, so here we go. We have this assembly. Now, the way this goes is that there's no wrong way of putting this. There's only one way of putting this. So these two screws are further apart than these, and obviously this is the up position like that. So you just gotta register and see which one's the bigger piece, or which one. But they look the same actually. Now that I think about it, huh? Anyhow, you just gotta line up the cam with the valley here of the. So this goes through all the way. Let me see. Is it like this? Sorry, I'm trying to look at my, not looking at the camera, so I may be out of frame here. Let's see. No, I think we're upside down. There we go. Make sure that cam is sitting in there. There we go. So there we go. You see the little cam that sits there. It turns either way. So now I think I have the cam in there, and I have this lined up with that. So now it's just a matter of pressing it through, holding it in place. And what you do is, as you're holding it down, you just twist this as a nut and make sure that the wire goes on the inside. Keep holding it down, push the screw all the way, and then you thread it a little bit, just a couple threads, make sure it's pointing towards the inside, let it go. Same thing here, push it all the way, thread these in, a couple threads, make sure it's on the inside. Now remember, you want to keep these on the inside so that you don't want to be having it on the outside. And I mean, you could put them on the outside. I don't know how I know they came in from, all my assemblies came on the inside, and I'm assuming that's to protect the wires from touching anything else. So anyhow, now that we're set there, I'm going to tighten these all the way down. So I'm going to tighten it down, tighten this one down. You don't want to go all the way until you there we go. Then you go in, don't torque them. You don't need to torque them, just snug, because all this stuff is brittle. And I kind of like these better than the stock ones that are aftermarket. This was a Land Rover accessory, or option, I should say. I guess my truck, and I picked up two trucks. The two one of them was 1960 build, the other one was no, they're both 1959 series 2s, and they were both about around 80 VINs apart, which were pretty much relatives of each other, I guess, in the assembly line. Now that we got this cleaned up, anyways, so both of them had this on the dashboard, which is pretty cool. These I got online on eBay. I picked one of them on eBay, and then I got two other ones through a friend of mine, which is pretty cool to keep these spares, because obviously you can't order these anymore, but luckily you could, with a little bit of patience and elbow grease, get these back on their feet. I'm gonna go get some little needle nose to turn these in. Give me a second. Okay, found some needle nose pliers, so I'm just gonna slightly rotate this so that I get a tighter. There we go. Don't overdo it. Doesn't need that much. So now let's put a little bit of grease on this cam here itself. Not on the contact, but just the cam. So I'm gonna turn it and then put more. So here we go. There we go, see? There we go. Okay. So let's see if my sort of repair worked, because it would tell me whether it's too old or not. So it was kind of loose. So here I am going in. That's the max. And let's see now. Yeah, no, this one's worn out completely. So what I'll probably have to do is create that leather, go get some leather and create that little seal. So that was a fail, but at least we learned something. But at least now you know that if you you have no contacts, you just have to pull out the cover and clean these here if you're not getting anything, any turning signal working. But yeah, unfortunately I'm gonna put this, well, let me put this back together. Maybe I need that. Let's see, line this up. Gotta put it back together anyways to put them away so I don't lose the pieces. I don't like to, even if it's a spare piece, I like to put them all back together. Yeah, you might remember how they go right now because everything's fresh in your mind, but you know, a couple of years from now, when you go back to open these and they're just a little parts bin all disassembled, you're not gonna know what goes where, you know. So I like to keep all my pieces, even though they're not good or they're for parts, just keep them all assembled. Because you can always reference them, you know, and not have to worry about looking for another, or diagrams or anything like that. So let's see. Yep, nope. So this one, the one I put in my truck right now, is actually working. And I'll probably go back to it right now and show you guys. It should be I've heard that it should be like a 90-second delay at the for this setting. That you're supposed to get 90 seconds out of it, but this is not even. This is just basically a momentary switch here, which is unfortunate. So I got to figure out how to make those little seals, because this is not holding air. Anyhow, so I'm gonna cut here, and I'll show you in the truck the piece that I have, so you guys can see what I mean by that delay. So anyways, that was a fail, but at least I know that this one's good, other than the little rubber, leather boot or leather seal. So I'm gonna cut it here, and then I'll see you guys in my truck once I've assembled the turning signal there. Okay, see you in a bit. Alright guys, so here's that switch that I've been talking about this whole video. This one is a used switch. It still works. I believe it doesn't last as long in indicator mode, whether right or left, but at least this one works. So I gotta figure out another way of fixing the other ones. But I'm gonna show you guys how it works. So you basically, for me on this one, I've set it to, if I go this way, it's basically pointing right. you can hear the relay, and you can hear it. If I let it go, that's about, so it's about 10-12 seconds. Here we go again. I'm gonna set it to now the left, and you're gonna hear it. Oh. That was about 20 seconds, 19-20 seconds. So that's what it's supposed to do. I really like these. They're kind of neat. You know, I have a couple spares, so I'm just gonna, I broke one of these already, so these big light handles. So hopefully I don't have to break another one and resort to using another one. But I really like these indicators. The way I had it before, I had to hold it. You know, it's kind of a pain. But now you can just go, you know, set it and it'll do it a few minutes. But I kind of like these a lot. I know that these are original. They were used in, it was an option from Land Rover, and I believe for them to be able to bring them into the United States, they had to come equipped with the indicator. So the indicator did come from Land Rover during those times. That was one of the requirements to be able to import them into the US. But this one here, I added that later. It worked great. I really like this one. It was fairly easy to install these because all the wiring is there, right behind the this little plate. So it makes it a lot easier to you know, wire it up and put an aftermarket on these hard dashes with the lights. It's pretty simple also on the Series 3, but you have to take apart a lot of the plastic trims, which kind of pain in the ass. But it tends to all of them tend to work fairly easy, and they're reliable. I really like the fact that I can change the light bulb right here. Makes it real easy to switch out the light bulb. But anyhow, I'm gonna let you guys go now. Hope you guys learned something from it. Give it a like and subscribe, give me a comment, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one.